So let's start by standing on the band with your feet hip width apart. Always trying to stand when you do stand on the band, and especially because this band isn't overly long, in the middle of it. So I'm just holding on to the ends, making sure it's nice and flat. Feet are hip width apart, beautifully parallel. And then I'm going to bend my knees, take hold of the band by my knees and straighten my legs. And already there's a sensation of being pulled down. I'm going to resist that movement resist that pull in the band by standing nice and tall. I'm sending my tailbone down a little bit, lifting my crown of my head up towards the ceiling and just taking a nice shoulder shrug. Breath in, breath out. If it's too strong on the band, or by all means release your grip on the band so it's not quite as tight. Always adjusting, always trying to just have quite a loose hand. You can really secure the band just with your fingertips. You don't need to make a great strong fist or anything. So breathing in, breathing out, trying to grow taller with each breath. Great, and then let's take some shoulder circles all the way around. Getting that collarbone all clunking and clicking, changing direction. Warming up that upper body. And let's just hold this for a moment. Secure your hands by touching your legs next to your thighs, and just draw a nice big circle with the tip of your nose. Twice in each direction, quite slowly. Being very conscious that your arms aren't moving. If your arms aren't moving, therefore your shoulders aren't moving. That's what we want. We want the head to move independently, closing your eyes, being very aware of each of those movements. It's quite tough. If you feel like doing a few more of those, please do, because that's actually quite a nice exercise to do. Then let's just take the band away. I just want you to practice sort of stretching it apart a little bit. Let's start with our hands opposite our shoulders, opposite our chest, and stretch it apart. Notice when the hands are quite wide and you've got more give in the band, you go out a bit wider. Notice the difference as well. If we're holding the band closer in front of our chest, that feels a bit more chesty. If I go wide and I can open my hands out more, that feels more, I notice the muscles in my back more, around my shoulders. Same thing when you're lower. I feel that on the outside of my shoulders. Just noticing where you're feeling it. Take it behind you, take the band behind you. Again, when the hands are close to each other, feels quite strong. When the hands go wider out, it's not so good to do at the back, but I just want you to just play about with it a little bit. Across the body. So ideally we're looking for the movement, the muscle activation to come from around your shoulders, because you're holding the rest of your body nice and still. Also with the arms, keep the wrists nice and straight, no tweaking at the wrist, no twiddling at the wrist, and try not to lock your elbows out, but equally try not to bend your arms. So if we're doing something like this, we're opening the arms out, stretching the band across your chest. My elbows stay slightly soft all the way through this one. I'm tipping my hands up the wrong way. Good. Okay, great. Now let's have a quick look at using the band to just increase our grip and our grip strength. So scrunch the band up in one hand and make it really, really tight. And 10 times switch on and switch off your grip. So squeezing, as I've done 4 now. 5, I'm going as tight as I can. When we go to change to the other hand, I reckon a couple more now. Notice whether you're stronger in one hand than the other. This is my right hand, I'm right-handed. So actually my grip strength is stronger in my left because we probably overuse our handedness side. And then we're just going to keep the stretch, keep the grip really nice and tight, and just take a great big shoulder circle. You can open up the shoulder, that's absolutely fine. All the way round. Keep the grip going. Let's do 2 more. Keep focusing on squeezing that band for all you're worth. 1 more. Brilliant, let's go the other direction. 4, still squeezing. Wrists might be feeling a little bit fatigued now. 3, noticing whether you actually want to let go, whether it's getting a little bit uncomfortable. Last one. 2, last one, and 1, and release, and then do some tarantulas with those fingers. So we've definitely got the blood flow going there. And that's actually quite uncomfortable, a little bit uncomfortable. Scrunching all up in the other hand. If, like me, you use your dominant hand first, notice as you do your 10 squeezes, does this hand feel stronger? It definitely does for me. I feel like I've just got more power in this hand. No idea how many I've done. 9, maybe 10. Great, and then I'm going to keep the squeeze, just settle the legs, opening up the shoulder a little bit. It's just really taking that arm around, giving yourself something else to think about almost. Noticing where you're feeling it. I think that was the 4th one. I'm going to change direction. So on this side, I'm starting to feel it a little bit more down my forearm. Keep the same intensity on the grip if you can. I think I've got 1 more. I might have done an extra one there, Billy bonus one. Woof, and release and do some tarantulas. We've got that lovely blood flow there. Great, okay. My signature up and over with the band. Feet are wide, insteps parallel, slightly outside your shoulders. We're going to warm up a little bit by taking the band up and over. If I go sideways, just stretching it past your head. Hopefully that's okay for you. And then we're going to go all the way down to the hips and relax, and then bring it all the way back up. And we're going sideways again. We're going to add the breathing to this. I'm going to show you the next move. We're going to round the spine and sort of implode as we go down to the floor. Straighten the legs, bend the knees, roll up through the spine, and then we're going again. So with me, with the breathing. Nice big breath in to start, and then the only time we stay still is when the band is behind us. So big breath in, as in we're not moving the arms. Breath out to go up and over. Holding it here, breath in. Feel the breath expanding, ribs into your armpits almost. Breath out to bring the band up and above your head. Breath in as you roll down and sort of implode. It's weird. Breath out to straighten the legs, stretching the hamstrings. Breath in to bend the knees and roll up through the spine. Strongly pull that belly button in, really nice and tight. And here we go again. Breath out. I can't do it and talk. Breath in, stay here. Breath out. Breath in. It's weird. Breath out. So we're breathing out, relaxing here in that stretch. Breath in. 2 more. Breath out. So the rib cage is connecting down. Breath in. Stay here. Breath out. Arms up and over. Breath in. Breath out. Straighten your legs. Breath in. Last one, I think. Breath out. Staying here with the arms. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Rounding all the way down. Breath out. Stretch those hamstrings. Nod the head. Shake the head. And breath in to roll up all the way through the spine. Fantastic. Keep your arms, your hands pretty much in the same position. Make a right angle with your arms and then we're going around for around the world. The ends of the bands get a little bit flappy, which is why you need to go reasonably quick, and join in as much or as little with your upper body as you want to. So we're using that bit of stretch in the band to give you some support. I just move my hands a little bit closer to each other, it just seemed a bit nicer for that one. Let's double the band over, still warming up the shoulders and the upper body, and let's take a nice figure of 8. And I'm allowing my hips to join in a little bit, looking for that rotation in the upper body though, as always. This is our normal figure of 8, normal direction. Now I'm going to reverse it, going up and over and then sweep under. Up and over and under. This is always a little bit weird. So it's like you take your arms up and over and then you do an underarm bowl with the lower arm, with the arm that's closest to the back. And enough of that, my shoulders are getting a little bit warm. Brilliant, let's stretch out the side of the body. Standing on one end of the band, open it out, feet hip width apart, and because my band isn't hugely long, I'm just going to stand on one foot on that same side as I've got the rest of the band, holding it at the top on the inside of it if you can, so it's quite flat at the side, and we're just going to take a reach up. So using that extra stretch in the band to stretch out that side seam, straighten it out almost, then take your arm across a little bit and then just push the hips into the side of the band and coming down even with the arm. Taking the same arm up again, reaching up first. I'm trying to straighten out that side seam of my torso. I'm taking the arm over. Try and take the arm over first. I rushed that a little bit the last time. My feet are still equal, my hips are still equal. Feeling that contact with the band, and then push the hips away. Go for it a little bit more. This time allow the arm to relax all the way down, relax in the middle, and then roll up in the middle. Great, let's do that on the other side. Oh, the band's got a bit stuck to my foot today. It's all a bit sticky. Here we go. On the other side, band nice and flat, holding it at the top. So you need to have, I've just got the band stretched out here. I'm not working too hard because I need that little bit of extra give in the band to do my stretch up. And I'm taking that top arm straight up to the ceiling. And then I'm looking forwards and just trying to take the arm over on its own, increasing that stretch, and then pushing the hips away. Relaxing the head so that it continues your curve of the spine. Brilliant. And coming upright again and again. All the way up, straight up. So the band is taut, but there's not too much stretch in it. There's a little bit of stretch. Now I'm going to really try and use the stretch in the band to lengthen up even more. I'm trying not to lean too much on the side here. I'm trying to just straighten out this left side of my body. Then I'm taking the arm over and the head, but keeping the hips still, keeping the feet equally weighted. Then I'm pushing away. And that feels quite nice. This time I'm going to bend the knees, relax all the way down, and then roll up in the centre, pushing the pubic bone forwards, unravelling through the spine. Great. One more thing here. We're going to have that band nice and flat, and this is, we're taking a roll down with the band behind your back. I'm going to face the other way actually. So I need to get my heels, I'm putting the band nice and flat on the mat. I need to get my heels on the end of the band, and my feet are going to be, I've got an inch between my insteps, otherwise your feet are quite close. We need to secure the band there, and if you can, and this is a test of your rotational mobility, turn your body, I've just realised that actually, and make sure your band is nice and flat, and then you want to bring it over the top of your head. Drop your elbows down. So now I'm standing in good posture. I've got the natural curves of my spine, I've got contact of the band at my hips, at my shoulders and at the top of my head. I'm trying to push the top back corner, actually where my hair is up, into the band there, and I'm relaxing my elbows and I'm holding the band in front like a little sort of bus shelter, or a shelter from the rain if you like. And then my goal as I start to do my roll down, remember we always start the roll down with the head first, as I drop my chin onto my chest, I'm aiming to push the curve in the back of my neck here into the band. It won't happen because the curve is too much, but that feels quite nice just to have that contact there. Then I'm going to go to the next stage. I'm keeping my pelvis absolutely in neutral. So I'm trying to push my lower back into the band. I'm trying to make that contact there. Again, this feels really nice. After that point, I'm going to slightly soften my knees and let my back round a little bit as you go down for the last part of the roll down. The band just being there is absolutely fine. Try not to lose contact with it. And then to come up, tuck the pelvis under, focus on maintaining that contact in the lower back with the band. Slightly straightening the legs. Try and maintain the contact with the band all the way up to the top. And let's go again. Be very conscious. So I can see as I turn to the side that I've got that nice gap between my lower back and the band. So I'll stretch it up over a little bit more. Remember, when you do the first bit, you're just dropping the chin onto your chest. Nothing else has changed. It's just that upper spine. And then you allow the shoulders to round forwards. But at the front, I'm pulling my ribs back towards my spine, towards the wall behind me. I can't go any further without changing my pelvis. Hopefully you'll see on the video that nothing's changed in that pelvis. And also the weight through my feet. I'm still in the same place, I'm still in the middle. Now I'm going to slightly soften my knees. Allow my pubic bone to slide back between my legs. Just let those arms hang. This feels quite nice but a little bit weird. It's also a little bit more difficult to do the roll down with your feet closer together than normal. It's harder on the balance. And then to tuck under strongly as I come back up, pushing that pubic bone forwards. I'm trying to return to neutral in the pelvis as soon as possible, because then I can stack the vertebrae one on top of each other, and that head is coming up last, and there goes, I can feel the band just releasing again there. Great, and my hair managed to stay intact. Fantastic. We're going to do a little quick test, a one-leg stand test, because the next set of exercises, are quite a lot of the exercises we're doing today, are about pelvic stability. So let's have our feet hip width apart, standing up nice and tall, transfer over to one leg, peel the heel off of the other leg, lift that foot off so that you're on the top of your big toe, and then lift the leg if you can so that the knee is opposite your hip. Stand here, check that you're okay with this, and then if you can, close your eyes. Ooh, and do you fall off the floor? Yes, I do. Okay, I've adapted a little bit, but I open my eyes. Okay, let's try that on the other side. Transferring over, peel the heel onto the top of the toe, lifting the leg, all relatively easy, especially with your eyes open. You should be hopefully used to this sort of balance. And then when you close the eyes, that's going to be the real test. So this is my better side for one leg balance without a doubt. I don't have any wobbles on this side. But this is also my tighter side for my hip. And that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at pelvic stability. Working around the hips. So the next exercise is a parallel squat, quite a deep squat. I'm going to go sideways to show you. Have the band quite flat around your bottom. If you can sort of imagine it's one of those chairs that you get where it's just like two bits of metal crossing over and then a piece of material at the top. I don't know what it's called, but you might know what I mean. So the band is basically the piece of material. I'm opening out my hands and trying to keep the band really quite flat. The band is flat on my hands, and then I'm just going to secure it by putting my thumbs to my fingers. Feet wide, shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out, and we're sending the bottom back into that band, and at the same time creating a sort of scooping action with the arms. So without the band, if I was to take, I'm trying to do that. I can't release their arms too far back because we'll drop the band, but there's that action of scooping underneath, keeping the collarbone nice and open. So with the band secure and flat around your bottom, sending the bottom back, you're reaching the arms forwards, and depending on the angle, so I had that, I was trying to get too high then, I had it too low earlier and it really rolled up, which is not ideal, doesn't really work. You want it sort of the bottom half of your bottom, I guess. So here, and then I'm scooping, yes, that's better. And as I'm bringing my arms forwards and stretching out the band, making sure my knees are above my ankles, I'm trying to just lift arms up a little bit, and you should feel some work around your shoulder blades. This is really quite strong. If it's too much for you, as always with any of the equipment, take it away, just do the movement without that. So that would be a moving here. If you're doing this one without the band, really sweep those arms forwards and under, scoop them under, and your palms are up. Hopefully you'll feel that's keeping the chest nice and open. Good job. Okay, we're taking the band behind your back. This can sometimes be a little bit awkward. So again, I've taken it behind my back, nice and flat. I'm holding it at the top with between my thumb and my forefinger. Nearly said that the wrong way. And I'm going to try and put the band flat, just around the base of my shoulder blades, bra strap ladies, bro line guys. And then we're tucking the elbows in. Actually, this is another quite easy way, if someone was doing this in class the other day, to get into this position. You just pitch your back forwards, but it does need to be flat. Am I flat? No, I'm twisted. Oh dear. This is part of the faff of working with equipment. It takes a little while to get used to it. Hopefully you're there. So this is the other way of doing it. Great. And then standing up nice and tall. We are going to, yes, we're going to have our feet in first position. So just tuck your elbows in when you've got it there. Again, all I'm doing is placing my thumb on my forefinger to secure the band, trying to keep it quite loose. From a parallel position, let's lift those heels up and bring them together so that we're turning out from the top of the hip. Have a look down, make sure your feet are turned out equally, get that wraparound sensation on the inside thighs, push the backs of the knees together. And from here, we're going to open out the band into like I feel like I'm making a capital W with my arms. So it's a sort of, yeah, my elbows are forwards, tucked into my sides, my arms are opened out, and then I'm stretching the band out. I can see in the monitor that I'm slightly wonky, but because it's a funny image, I can't work out how to adjust it. There you go. That's better, I think. So if you are able to do this, if you're ever able to do class in front of a mirror, it is invaluable in seeing whether you're wonky or not. We're extending out. Hopefully you should feel some activation around the shoulder blades in your back. That's the area that we're looking to work. Let's keep the arms there a moment, but without stretching the hands out. Keep the heels together, have a little rise up and a lower. Keeping the heels together, all the lower legs together. This is going to really activate pelvic floor. Fire up those inside thighs. Good, let's stay at the top if you can. Let's bend the knees. Knees are going over the toes. So stay with the heels raised, but together if you can. As you straighten the legs, stretch the hands out. As you bend the elbows, bend the knees. Stretching out. Quite tough on the balance. There's a lot of things going on here. Oh, that's bugging me. There you go. I need to drop my right arm down, my left up. Now I'm going a bit wonky the other way. You stay here. Let's tuck those elbows in. Just opening out is enough. Hands are level. Take some little pulses. Squeeze. Backs of the thighs together. Woo. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower and release everything. Good. Brilliant. Parallel squats. Okay, a little bit more work on the hips. We're going to, again, stand in the middle of the band with your feet hip width apart. And ideally in the middle of the band. Once you've got your feet hip width apart, I'm going to shuffle back a little bit. Maybe stretch the band out a little bit. Cross over the ends of the band, and you're going to hold on to the ends of the band with your 3, so the tops of the band's coming out past your thumbs, up to the ceiling sort of thing. Stick your forefinger out, and then place your hands around your hips. Now this is quite strong in itself, but we want quite a lot of tension in the band. Standing up as tall as possible, make sure that spine is in a good neutral. There's quite a lot of tension on the band. My elbows going out to the side. I'm just in really good posture. We're going to use one, I'm going to keep my weaker side, which is my right side. I'm going to keep my weaker side still, and I'm going to move my left foot. We're going to do 5 of each of these movements in different directions. You're just going to take, I'm going to take my left foot out to the side by 1 inch and bring it back again. Out to the side by 1 inch. It's a tiny, tiny movement. It's strong because there's a lot of resistance in the band. If this doesn't suit you, please just take the band away. Or just have a little break, go and make some cup of tea while this part of the class is going on, or maybe not drinking tea, but 5 of those. And all I did was take my left foot, because my right side is my weaker side, that's the side I want to stay still for this work, out to the side, completely out to the side. Now I'm going to take that left foot diagonally forwards by 1 inch and then bring it back again. Diagonally forwards. As you can see, there's a little bit of rocking from side to side. I'm trying to minimise that, but it's really quite tough. This is also quite tough. I think this is 3, I'm going to do 2 more. 4. This is also quite tough on the hands and the wrists because of this amount of tension in the band. That was 5 forwards. I'm going to take 5 on the back diagonal now. Going back only by, I'm going the length of my big toe back, and then I'm bringing my legs together again. Length of the big toe back and coming back. 2 more, I think. So my right leg at the moment is having a little bit of screaming at me. Good. I'm just going to release that. Keep the feet where they are. Just let the ends of the band go. Have a little bit of a wiggle, woggle. Let's cross the band over the other way. Not sure it's going to make any difference at all. So my thumbs are on top of the band. I'm going to curl 3 fingers round. Forefinger is sticking out, yeah, like you're pointing. And then use that forefinger and the thumb to hook over your hips. And this creates a nice solid base for the band. The beauty of the band work is that once you've secured one end, you've got all this stretch to use. But if you don't secure the end, so if you let your arms do this at the same time as this, it's a waste of time. You've got to be secure somewhere in that band. So we're I'm stuck to my mat. Stretching out, stepping sideways by an inch, coming back in. Trying not to have too much of a shift. 4, one more, 5. Same foot, so I'm using my right foot now. I'm moving my right foot forwards on a diagonal and back. I'm making this, I'm actually noticing already my movement was much bigger on this side because my left side is stronger. My left side hip and buttock are stronger, therefore more stable. Therefore, I can move my other foot further without even realising it. I'm going backwards now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and return. Brilliant. That is that work. I'm going to release that band. Perfect. The next thing we are doing is sitting on the floor for a seated C curve, and I will see you there in a moment.